Imagine this. You're standing at the base of a towering, sheer sandstone cliff in the American Southwest. The sun beats down, the wind whispers ancient secrets, and your eyes follow a faint, almost impossible line etched into the rock face, ascending hundreds of feet into the sky. These are the Moki Steps, one of the most baffling and breathtaking mysteries of the ancient world. For centuries, these hand-and-toe holds, carved directly into the vertical cliffs, have puzzled historians, archaeologists, and adventurers alike. They are impossibly steep, dangerously exposed, and seem to lead to nowhere. The name Moki itself is a Hopi term for their ancestors, the ancestral Puebloans, who inhabited this region over 1,000 years ago. But the real question isn't just who built them, but how? And, more chillingly, why? To understand the Moki Steps, we first have to understand the people who likely created them. The ancestral Puebloans were master architects and astronomers. They built incredible cities like Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde, complex structures that align with celestial events with stunning precision. They were a sophisticated society that thrived in this harsh, arid landscape for centuries, cultivating crops, creating beautiful pottery, and developing a rich spiritual life. Then, around the 13th century, something happened. They abandoned their magnificent cliff dwellings and sprawling settlements, seemingly vanishing into the landscape. The reasons for this great migration are still debated: drought, conflict, social upheaval, but they left behind a world of silent stone cities and these enigmatic stairways to the sky. Let's get a sense of what we're dealing with. These aren't your average stairs. We're talking about small, shallow pockets pecked into the rock, just big enough for a toe or a few fingers. The spacing is often awkward and inconsistent. To climb them is to press your body flat against the cliff face, inching your way up, with a drop of hundreds of feet just a slip away. There's no railing, no safety net, just you, the rock, and the vast, empty air. Modern climbers, even with all their high-tech gear, find these routes incredibly challenging and terrifying. So how did the ancestral Puebloans with only rudimentary tools not only carve these steps but ascend them, possibly while carrying water, food, or even their children? One of the most popular theories is that these steps were simply practical routes. They connected lower-level settlements with high-altitude granaries, defensive lookouts, or ceremonial sites tucked away on the mesa tops. The cliffs offered protection from enemies and flash floods. Storing grain in high, dry, and inaccessible cliff alcoves would keep it safe from pests and raiding parties. From this perspective, the Moki Steps were a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, a necessary risk for survival in a challenging world. It paints a picture of a people so intimately connected with their environment that scaling a sheer cliff was as normal as walking down a path. But this practical explanation starts to fray at the edges when you look closer. Some of these stairways seem to lead to absolutely nothing. No granary, no dwelling, no visible structure on the mesa above. They just stop. Or they connect areas that could have been reached by a much safer, albeit longer, route. Why would anyone risk life and limb for a shortcut that wasn't strictly necessary? This is where the mystery deepens, and we step into the realm of the spiritual and the ceremonial. For many Native American cultures, including the Pueblo descendants, mountains and high places are sacred. They are seen as portals to the spirit world, places where the earth meets the sky and one can communicate with deities or ancestors. Could the Moki Steps have been a spiritual pilgrimage? A stairway to heaven, in a very literal sense? Perhaps the act of climbing itself was a ritual, a test of faith and endurance. The danger, the focus required, the physical exertion, all of it could have been part of a transformative experience designed to bring a person closer to the divine. Imagine a shaman or priest ascending these steps under a starry sky, leaving the mundane world below to seek wisdom from the spirit world above. The steps weren't just a path, they were the ceremony itself. This idea aligns with the placement of some of the steps. They often follow natural cracks and fissures in the rock, routes that might have been seen as spiritually significant, as if the spirits themselves had pointed the way. This theory transforms the steps from a simple feat of engineering into a profound expression of faith. But then there are the more unconventional theories, those that look at the sheer audacity of these climbs and conclude they were not meant for ordinary humans at all. When you stare at these tiny holds, barely there on a vertical wall, it's easy to let your imagination run wild. Hopi and other local traditions are rich with stories of the kachinas, spiritual beings who can travel between the physical and spirit worlds. These stories often describe beings with abilities far beyond those of mortals. Could these steps have been created for them? Paths for spirits to descend to the earth, or for humans to meet them halfway? And this is where we get to the truly out there ideas that have captivated so many, the idea of sky gods or ancient astronauts. Proponents of this theory look at the Moki steps and see evidence of something not of this world. They ask, why are some of the steps so awkwardly spaced for a human climber? Could they have been designed for beings with a different physiology? Or perhaps beings who didn't rely solely on their hands and feet to climb, but had some form of technology that made the ascent easier? It's a tantalizing thought, that these stairways weren't for people climbing up, but for beings coming down. While there is zero archaeological evidence to support this, the mystery is so profound that it creates a vacuum, and our imaginations rush to fill it. It taps into that universal human wonder about our place in the cosmos and whether we've ever been visited by beings from beyond. It turns a historical puzzle into a sci-fi epic written in stone. So, what are we left with? We have a series of incredible, death-defying staircases carved into cliffs by an ancient people who later vanished. Were they practical routes, built out of necessity by a hardy and resourceful culture? Were they sacred pathways, leading to ceremonial sites or spiritual enlightenment? Or were they something else entirely, markers left by visitors from another world, or pathways for spirits moving between realms? Perhaps the truth is a combination of all these things. Maybe some steps were for storage, others for defense, and still others for sacred ceremony. The ancestral Puebloans didn't separate the practical from the spiritual in the way we do today. For them, survival and spirituality were woven together into a single, intricate tapestry. Climbing to a granary might have been both a chore and a prayer. Today, the Moki steps stand as a silent, powerful monument to a lost world. They challenge our understanding of what is possible and remind us of the incredible ingenuity and deep spiritual lives of the people who came before us. They are a question etched in stone, and perhaps their greatest power lies not in any single answer, but in the sense of awe and wonder they inspire in all who see them. They force us to look up, both at the cliffs and at the stars, and to wonder. What do you think? Were these people master engineers, devout pilgrims, or hosts to something beyond our comprehension? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this exploration, please hit that like button and subscribe for more dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Stay curious, and we'll see you next time.